Good morning folks. So it's a recovery day today, so really that involves just a 40-minute ride to active recovery, so zone 1, so nothing difficult. Because we have to commute to work, so that's 30 minutes there, 30 minutes back, we decided do you know what, it's a gorgeous sunny day outside, we're just going to have a wee play with the kids. We'll drop them off at nursery later and then we'll just use the commuting back to forward to work as today's training ride. Recovery is important for all those that are watching the video and thinking, well, you know, it's the hard training that gets you the gains. Actually, it's not. It's the recovery that gets you the gains, because you've done the work, but you've got to let the body time to recover, time to adapt. You've got to fuel that body with the right nutrition to give it the building blocks to use to create more proteins within the muscles.
I'm just starting at 20.
So let's talk nutrition. When you're doing high intensity workouts or racing, you really need to consider the fuel that you're giving to your body, and at the same time every cyclist pretty much wants to lose weight. Power to weight ratio is king. The thing is, when you're doing high intensity workouts, the body just can't cope. It cannot produce enough energy, enough fuel in the normal way, so therefore the cells take it on themselves to get that fuel, and how they do that is by burning down blood sugar. The commonest form of sugar in the body is carb. Even the most complex carbohydrate at some point, if you follow its process within the body, will break down into just a simple sugar, which is then absorbed in the small intestine into the blood and obviously becomes blood sugar, and then that blood sugar goes all around the cells and then is used as fuel. What we need to do when we're training and then we're racing is we need to look after the body, and we need to make sure that we're adequately fueled, and there's some variables which you can control. If you're not controlling those variables, then the body, the brain specifically, it triggers responses based on the perceived rate of exertion, so RPE. We all know that 10 is the absolute maximum that we can go at, and we can only do that for very short periods of time. Threshold is round about 7.5. If you're not looking after the body well, the brain will think that we are giving out an exertion rate of say 8, but we're actually only doing 6. So therefore the gains that you're going to get back from your training are going to be a lot less than if you had looked after the body. And by looking after the body, what I mean is fueling the body. There's 3 controllables. There's the carb stores within the body, there's core body temperature, the blood pH. So let's talk about the first variable, the first thing that you can control, and that's carbs. Everybody needs carbs. Some people that are watching this have probably seen the articles that have been released recently about Chris Froome and the fact that he has a super low carb diet, and for him that works, and certainly he's been quoted as saying that he really didn't, in his opinion, maximise or realise his potential until he reduced the carbs to a low level. Now the thing with carbs is, carbs are not bad. You need carbs. Carbs are the form of sugar which is most easily broken down. We all need sugar in order to fuel the cell. Yes, you can adapt, burn fat, but certainly carbs is the most easiest form of breaking down into blood sugars. So we need carbs. If you're doing high intensity workouts, you need to be fueling properly, because you don't want to be using anything else. You don't want the brain to be triggering that response at a level much lower than what you're wanting to achieve. So you don't want the brain to be thinking you're giving out an 8 when you're actually only doing a 5, because then what's the point of the workout? If the workout is wanting to achieve 8, you need to be achieving 8, and the only way you can do that is by fueling properly. If you are going on long, steady training rides, then you don't need a lot of carbs. Are more for high intensity explosive workout, okay? When the body cannot fuel itself naturally. Carb intakes. We've all heard about carb loading, but let's talk about it in a little bit more detail. When you look at a periodization nutritional plan, you've got to take into account, first of all, how much do you weigh? okay, because you're going to take in a certain amount of grammage of carbs per kilo of body weight. You've got to look at intensity of the workout that you're doing and how far away is that workout. So for instance, if you're doing a workout that's super high intensity first thing in the morning, then the night before you want to be taking in some extra carbs. The way that the body deals with carbs, and especially if you're in the middle of doing a high intensity workout, it will either use the carbs because it's excess immediately to fuel the cells, or it will store it either in the liver or in the muscles for later use. So if you're taking extra carbs on the night before, the body's going to store them, and then in the morning when you're doing your workout, it's going to release those carbs straight back out from the liver and the muscles. What you want to be doing is, depending on the duration of the workout, you take in, if it's a shorter workout, you take in less carbs. If it's a longer workout, you take in more carbs. But it has to be high intensity. We're not talking about long, slow endurance ride. We're taking minimal amount of carbs in for that. But this is for high intensity. So you're looking at anywhere between 3 and 10 grams per kilogram of body weight. Now we'll come into what that means later on in the video. 2 hours before your ride, you want to take on something that's nice and simple, something which the body can digest very easily. It's not going to upset you on the bike. Ideally, stick to the same thing. Don't want to be trying new things out just before a ride, and especially before a race. And because it's just before the ride, you're taking on a lot less. So for each kilo of body weight, you're looking at maybe 1 to 2 grams carbohydrate, okay? And that can be in the form of maybe a little simple bowl of pasta or a carbohydrate drink. Okay, there's lots of different things, and I'll stick some links down below to some ideas as to what you can utilize for your X amount of grams per body weight that you're looking for. Building. When we take part in intense sessions of exercise, whether that's a training session or whether that's a race, the body is continually building and rebuilding and destroying proteins within the body. Okay, now obviously when we're doing exercise, it does that at a faster rate than normal, but it's doing it every single day, 24/7. When it rebuilds, it needs food to rebuild. It needs protein. Protein are the blocks which it uses to rebuild the proteins itself within the body, amino acids, okay? You should be taking in small amounts of protein every 4 to 6 hours, all through the day, regardless of whether you're working out or not, because as I say, the body is continually doing this process. But certainly if you've done a workout, a hard workout, within the first hour is key to get some protein back in. Like the carbs, and like anything else, you want to hit a certain amount. You don't want to take too much because you're just going to be wasting it, okay? And certainly if we're talking about reducing calorie intake, you also want to watch how many calories you're eating, because at the end of the day, we want to be in a deficit. Protein comes in two forms, something that's derived from an animal, and then you've got plant-based. I know there's going to be, I can hear them already, they're clicking, they're ready to click. All the vegans out there are going to be screaming right now. Ah! I'm not knocking veganism at all, okay? Absolutely not. Unfortunately, it is a hard fact that if you wanted to consume protein, you get a higher percentage of protein from animal products than you do from plant-based products. It's easier for the body to break that down animal-based than it is plant-based. If you're looking at animal-based proteins, then you're looking at maybe 20 to 30 grams per day. If you're using vegetable-based proteins, then you need 30 to 40 grams. I'm sorry, it's just a hard fact. Fluids, very, very important. Keep yourself rehydrated all the way through the day. But after a hard workout, one of the good things, or one of the things that you should get into the habit of doing, before a hard workout or a hard race, weigh yourself. Weigh yourself after, and then you can work out, if you take into account what food you may have eaten during that race or during that workout, you can work out how much body weight you've lost in fluid. What we need to consume in the next 4 hours after the session, 125 to 150% of whatever we lost. Pretty simple, nothing else to be said about that. Let's move on. Periodization of nutrition. Split your day up. You're going to have pre-workout morning, during the workout, post-workout, mid-morning / breakfast, pre-lunch snack, lunch, afternoon snack, dinner, evening snack. So break your day up into all these little gaps. Little and often, okay? Get rid of this 3 square meals a day nonsense. Go for little and often. The body can only utilise so many carbs, so much protein per hour, so there's no point having massive meals. And also, if you're wanting to reduce your calorie intake, spread out your intake throughout the whole day, you're going to feel fuller for longer. Think about what it is you're trying to achieve in terms of your workout. So as I say, let's take for instance Monday, okay? So Tuesday, I've got a super hard workout in the morning, but Monday itself is a rest day. So I don't need a pre-morning snack, I don't need a pre-workout snack, I don't need a workout snack. I can just go straight to breakfast, and I can have little bits of carbs. Still have the same amount of protein all the way through the day, because as I say, the process is always ongoing, but at least amount of carbs during the day already. higher carbs in the evening, because that's me bulking up ready for Tuesday morning when I'm going to do this high intensity workout. So therefore I need the stores of carbs in my body, in the liver, in the muscles, to fuel that workout and make sure that I can hit the absolute peak. Post-workout, depending on when the next workout is and how intense it is, I might want to reload with carbs, or I might not. I might just carry on with minimal amount of carbs throughout the day. Again, keep the same amount of protein, depending on what the workout is the next day. I'm either going to refuel straight away, or I'm going to wait until later on at night, or maybe I'm skipping a day and I'm refueling in the morning, getting ready for the next day. What I'll do is I'll stick a link down below to some stuff that you can read. Might explain it a little bit better, might give you some graphs. In fact, do you know what? There's a graph that you can have a look at. It explains it a little bit better, hopefully. Questions? Anyone want to raise their hand? No, seriously, it seems a little bit complicated, but it is quite straightforward. In terms of losing weight, there's loads and loads of ideas out there. I use an app which, for me, is perfect. It's MyFitnessPal. Here's a link to what it is. Scan all your food, weigh all your food. It's got all the calories in there. It's got all your macros in there. At the end of the day, it tells me whether I've gone over my calorie intake or whether... Now, ideally, you want to be round about 400 to 700 calories under per day. By the end of the week, you will be significantly dropping off weight. So, calories in, energy burnt. If the calories in are lower than the energy burnt, lose weight. If it's the other way around, you're going to gain weight. It's pretty simple. It seems a little bit complicated, but it's not really. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Please give me a thumbs up. Please like, please share the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done already. Leave me some comments down below. What do you think? If there's any particular plans that you follow? It's always good to read the comments. And as I say, today's a rest day. Today's a recovery, not a rest, a recovery day. So I'm off to go and get changed, ready for work.